Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. We're very happy this evening to have with us another outstanding guest, McKinley Joe Blow from Inglewood, California, visiting this area, and we're going to reflect about his living here in Lake County and now in Inglewood, California. Matter of fact, he's employed by the government with the Boeing Aircraft Corporation. Good evening, Joe. We're calling you Joe, and I didn't know your name was McKinley Blow until the recent years. Everybody called you Joe Blow. So I thought I better mention Joe Blow so the ones Lake County listening here would know who we are talking with. But tell us that, let's reflect a little bit about your personal background here in Lake County. Then we'll talk about how you got to Inglewood, California.
Well, I got to Lake County from North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
See, before I moved to Waukegan in North Chicago area, I was living in my hometown of Greenville, North Carolina.
Okay.
And prior to that, I had lived in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
Newark, New Jersey, all when I was a little boy.
Okay.
And also Detroit, Michigan. And also I had the experience of working around potato farm in Long Island, New York. In fact, that was quite an experience, and still a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got to Lake County, my brother was stationed here in the service at Fort Sheridan.
What's his name?
His name was William C. Blow.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a really outstanding golfer for the North Shore Duffers for a long time around here in this area.
Right.
And so he was discharged at Fort Sheridan in 1953.
Mm-hmm.
And he stayed here for a year, and he got married. He married a local person.
Mm-hmm.
He married in the Clinskill family. His wife's name was Josephine.
Okay.
And the next year, which was 1954, I knew at that time that he was coming home, and I knew then that all the places that I've been, I couldn't stay where I was, because I wanted to get out as soon as possible.
Okay.
And so when he did come in, the year of 1954 was the summer of 1954. I remember it was the 4th of July weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working with a band then, see, and so he stayed for about a couple of weeks, and then when we decided to really come back, I asked him where were we going, what was our destination.
Mm-hmm.
He said North Chicago. And I thought at that time, because I had never heard of North Chicago, I thought he was talking about the north side of Chicago.
Okay, yeah.
So I said to myself, I said, wow, I've lived in New Jersey, New York, Michigan, oh my goodness, so now I get a chance to live in North Chicago, north side of Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we were riding and riding and riding and riding and riding, and still haven't seen Chicago. And the next thing I knew, I saw the Great Lakes Naval Training Center.
Mm-hmm.
I said, wow, where are we? You know? And after that, I saw Fort Sheridan. You know, I said, bro, I thought we were going on to Chicago. He said, no, North Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Separate
city out there, yeah.
I said, oh, I see. I said, I thought sure we were going to Chicago North Side.
Mm-hmm.
He said, no, bro, this is North Chicago and Waukegan combined.
Mm-hmm.
So that was in July of 1954, and I stayed here for 10 years.
Mm.
I met my wife to be the kids are here. In fact, the family is have expanded so much. It's wow, I tell you. It seems like every time I come back, I have a different great-grandkid. You know.
And your wife's name, though? What's your wife's name?
Her name was Virginia.
Virginia, and I think she went to Shiloh. Did she go to Shiloh Church?
Yes.
Yeah, Shiloh.
Yes,
that's
mother
that's
was,
where I met her there, yeah.
Mother was there for years. The Shiloh Baptist Church on Genesee.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, so I came here. I said, my goodness, at North Carolina, my goodness, I should stay there. Because all I saw was trees and outside mansions.
Yeah, okay.
And I said, wow. So I told my brother, I said, maybe I should go. No, he said, if you do go back to North Carolina, you're going to walk, because I'm not going back that way right now.
Okay.
So I stayed here and got a job and so forth. But one thing I did find out, Mr. Brooks, about this area when I did come here, they treated me so nicely. They adopted me. They took me in so gladly. And so one evening, I found out about the YMCA. And I had experienced the YMCA in those cities that I lived in, you see. In fact, it seemed to have that much anymore. It seemed like when I was coming up, in a lot of the cities in the neighborhood, they had YMCA, where they have Saturday night dances, and some of the YMCA would have living quarters and dining rooms and restaurants, yeah. But when I did come here, I saw this one here on Genesee, and they had a talent show. Yeah, and I saw the music on top of the piano, and it was a song that I had previously did in North Carolina. It was called Wanted. It was did by Perry Como at that time. And so I decided to go and participate in the talent show.
Okay.
And, so that's when I met my oldest friend that lived here. He passed on this year, may he rest in peace. His name was Joe Howard Tanner.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the first person that I met here.
Okay.
And at the same time, when I was at the Y on the talent show, I saw this 3 guys out there practicing, rehearsing, and singing, and trying to get this together, and trying to get that together. And so finally, after I finished doing my song, they called me over. And I'd never seen them before. They called me over and said, we need another voice. Said, would you sing with us? I said, why not? So I sang with them, a song that they sang. So as I remember, that was the only time that I won first prize and second prize on the same show.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was interesting. And, but as I began to stay here, I met a lot of people and started working. Then the first job the first job that I received here was at the, oh boy, that was something. It was a place called North Chicago Hardware Foundry.
Oh, okay.
I never will forget it. In fact, they were real reluctant about hiring me. So finally, I was so persistent that when they did decide to hire me, he gave me these huge shoes, steel toe. So I asked him, I said, what am I going to do with these shoes? He said, well, you'll find out. So I worked in the brass foundry. And as I worked in the brass foundry during those months, I found out then that I didn't want that to be my future. So one day, I was working, had gone through a cold winter, my first winter in Illinois. And spring was on the horizon with May. And so one Friday, I was pushing a wheelbarrow of caskets. And I looked up my supervisor at that time, and I told him, I said, you have my address, right? He said, yes. I said, good. I said, well, you can mail my check in the hole to my address because I'm out of here right now. See? He said, no notice? I said, I'm giving you one. I'm getting out of here right at this moment. It wasn't any plans. I just stopped right there. I said, I'm getting out.
That was not the type of work for you, huh? That was not the type of work for you.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the terrible conditions. In fact, all those places along the North Shore, say from Highland Park up to Kenosha, the places here in the Waukegan area, we didn't have safety measures at that time, see? And all those jobs was unhealthy. I was talking to a friend of mine that father worked at the John Manuel.
Okay.
And I often wonder, was he ever exposed to asbestos?
Yeah.
Excuse me. And yesterday we were having lunch, and he was telling me that his father developed a cough. They said when he would cough, he couldn't stop. Yeah, so I guess that he was exposed to it. In fact, one of my older brothers that lived in Detroit, he worked for Ford Motor Company for years, and he worked in their foundry. And he was exposed to asbestos.
They were not aware of
No.
asbestos at that time?
No,
Okay.
So right now, they're being paid for it because that's why I said that we cannot have enough lawyers.
Yeah.
See, a lot of the lawyers now start investigating, and the Navy itself have paid out millions and millions of dollars from lawsuits from sailors and officers that was exposed to asbestos on those ships.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But getting back to Lake County, then I worked, after I worked there for a while, I went back to North Carolina for about, I guess I stayed about 3 weeks. And then what I did to come back here, I guess it's pretty lucky because I came back like on a Saturday, and then Wednesday I went out to Downey and put in an application, hired me on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I met you then, because I was employed by North Chicago Veterans Hospital, known as Downey at that time, you know.
And I was down there yesterday.
Is that right?
I didn't even know it. They
Okay,
changed around so much.
exactly. It's the, I guess it's the James A. Lovell Federal Health Care Center now, combined with Great Lakes Hospital.
Because they don't even have the same interest anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they closed it off, you see.
Right.
They had to go down a little further. And, but I noticed this time they didn't have security. You know, the last time I was here, I went down there, I had to go by security and show ID and all that, you see. But this time, where the old entrance used to be, where the building used to stay, people used to stay, they come here right up front.
Yeah.
Well, the next
48, I
entrance,
believe it was.
yeah.
48, yeah.
Was that 4800?
48, building 48.
Building 48, yeah.
And where you going now is direct at building 5. Yeah. I think it's 5 or 4 or 5, yeah. 5 maybe, I think it is.
And I walked in building 6, still there.
That's the old, they call it kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
There's a kitchen there.
Food.
But I walked in there yesterday. It's not like it used to be. In other words, wow, it's just, oh my goodness.
Right.
Years ago when I was working there, you walk in the kitchen, you just feel nothing but energy. People hollering at each other, get this out, get that out, get this out. And
Well, tell me this, you developed a singing career. Did you have any training in singing, or that just came natural?
But it came natural because when I was a youngster, I remember that I was exposed to a lot of songs. I know that in my neighborhood coming up, at the corner store, they had what we used to call then a piccolo, you know, with the jukebox.
Okay.
And they played all the songs, especially the rhythm blues songs.
Okay.
Because the only songs that we did hear on the radio was by, you could say, Euro-American artists, you see. And then on Saturday, they would play what they would call gut bucket for the black people, you see. But we had people that would buy our music, guys like Count Basie, Duke Ellington, Louis Jordan, oh my goodness, go on and on and on, and so many great artists. And all of them was doing recording, and while all the other ones was dancing there at the store where the jukebox was, for some reason, I had my head to the speaker, listen to the words.
Okay, right.
See, and I was singing along with the words, So it caught on. It really caught on, and it has helped me through a lot of, I would say crisis, but it had helped me. If it hadn't been for my voice, I tell you, a lot of things would have been a lot bad than they really were, if anything were bad, you know, but I don't think it was. I call that life of adjustments. I don't call that disappointments. I call it a life of adjustments, you know what I mean?
Well, and I think the last couple of times you were here, we had your group sing on the show. I think George Rembert, I think we played guitar, and I don't know, you had a couple, I don't know whether you had a couple other people. The group was the quartet or what?
Well, the first group that I was in here, most from North Chicago.
Okay.
It was
Carol Stewart was she on?
Franklin Montgomery.
Oh, okay.
Bob Reeve, Herbert Montgomery, and Freddie Williams, Freddie Rainey. I can't think of the last name right now, but they were already together. And then when I did win that talent show with that song "Wanted,"
okay,
the word got out, and so they asked me. I met Franklin. He asked me would I come sing with the group. And then we started singing with the group. I started singing with them, and
was Carol Stewart and her sister, or just Carol Stewart?
No, see, I met them later.
Oh, okay.
See, I met them later. In fact, in their original group, they had Wesley
Green.
Okay.
Okay.
The late Sterling Holly, and Donnie Taylor, and the two sisters.
Yeah. Okay.
So they were looking for another voice.
Donnie Taylor, he played drums, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, he went on to teach drums.
And Wes Green played keyboard.
Yeah, he's working with a blues group now.
Is that?
Yeah, a band, yeah.
Yeah, I came into the area in '57, I guess. So you say you were here in '58?
No, I came here in '54.
Oh, you were here much longer before me. Okay, right. But now you relocated in Inglewood. Tell us about Inglewood. Now, the last I know about Inglewood, I was there about the same time that Whitney Houston, I guess, expired. And matter of fact, I was at one of the hotels not too far from her, you know, and we were shocked to hear, you know, that she had expired at the hotel there. But I guess in that area, of course, Compton is in that area where the Serena and Venus Williams, you know, excel in tennis, started tennis there in Compton, which is not really right. But tell us about Inglewood. Oh, one other thing I know about Inglewood, a young pastor from East St. Louis, his congregation bought the basketball, the Forum. I think I mentioned to you about that before. They bought the Forum. They no longer own the Forum now. They had the businesses that, entrepreneurs that used to rent from them, and I guess they don't rent them anymore, and they couldn't afford it, you know. But they had the whole Forum. As a matter of fact, I went to service there while I was out there, you know, visiting you out there, and I thought that was quite a accomplishment there, but they have to let it go now, you know.
You know, the Forum has been reorganized. Okay. In fact, it's owned now by the same people that own Madison Square Garden.
Oh my goodness! Okay.
You get all kinds of big groups in there.
Okay.
See, I don't know. I thought that was kind of a big chance of making church out of for
exactly.
financially.
Exactly.
See, that's why it didn't happen, because it's not going to draw as much as a concert.
Okay, right.
Often, I mean, maybe every now and then they might have a big crowd, have a big minister,
Right.
but the concerts that's coming in there now is the big time groups and so forth.
Right, right. You know what I'm really excited about what you're doing now is that you're a world traveler now, you know, and what interests you to become a world traveler?
Well, by our family, okay, my immediate family was very large.
Okay.
See, about 9 of us. And so we became separated in early life.
Okay.
And so when I was small, growing up in North Carolina, most of my older brothers had moved up north.
Okay.
Some, one in New Jersey and one in Ohio, and one ended up being in Illinois. And I'd like to add this. It's amazing how we were been separated now. Okay. I had one brother to die in New York.
Okay.
I had another brother to die in New Jersey.
Okay.
I had another brother to die in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the previous one that died here in Illinois.
Right.
So I'd probably go away in California. So in other words, let's tell you right then how separated we were. And so when I was a youngster, I used to go visit them and stay with them for a while, you see.
Okay.
Because my brother and I that live here were both raised in a foster home, you see. But all our brothers at that time knew where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I just took off, you know, and then I always liked travel, and I used to walk in travel offices and look around, look at all the ships and this and so forth. But it never dawned on me because I didn't have the money to go to any place. So I said, no.
Right.
So I didn't do too much till later on, and I started traveling locally. I had to travel locally, you know.
Okay.
I used to travel back and forth to New York and here and so forth, and so then I started reading about other countries, and the first country that I read about was Brazil. I read about the culture, the finances, the businesses, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm going to go there, you know. So I took off and went. I went to Brazil. I've never been overseas before in my life. In fact, this is the 30th year that I've gone overseas.
Wow.
In other words, I'll take that back. I have gone overseas for 30 straight years. I started going overseas in '84, and last year was 014, but I haven't been this year yet. So I decided to take a year off, you know, because I went for 30 straight years. But I guess it's the curiosity of me trying to find out what was going on else around the world, you see, because travel already did interest me. So, but how I really got started, though, I remember that I was in California, still in California. I was developed a habit like a lot of other people, you know, credit cards this and credit cards that, and this thing I know you're in a lot of debt.
Okay.
So when I finally got out of debt, I decided just to use the money that I was paying all the bills with and do something for myself.
Okay.
So I used that to travel places, you see. And I've learned so much traveling from place to place, and a lot of places that I find to be. I remember being in the same place that the late Martin Luther King received his Nobel Peace Award, right there in Stockholm. I've been in that building.
Okay.
Yeah. I was in a country called Portugal. The city was Lisbon, but they pronounce it Lisboa.
Okay.
And the country is so ancient that the Roman aqueducts are still standing. From years back, it's still standing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was Germany. I went there. I saw one of the most beautiful cities I ever seen in my life in the German Alps. Mm-hmm. In fact, the city was called, still is called, it's called Bavaria. That's where they make most of the German beer.
Yeah, yeah.
And it sits up in the German Alps. You ought to see that city. I mean, oh my goodness, beautiful. In fact, after World War II,
Mm-hmm.
all the German scientists, that's where they relocated in Bavaria.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened, Russia, they received half, and the USA received the other half. So that's how the nuclear started, yeah.
Okay.
From the German scientists. Mm-hmm.
Now tell me this, I know it's what the answer would be, but know you became a camera person, a photographer.
Oh, yes.
With all the places that you've gone to. So you must have quite a library of pictures.
In fact, people call my place a museum.
Okay.
Because I have all the photos that I've taken around the world. I have them all at one time, at my job, we had practically every convenience that we needed. We had a contract to a photographer place that you could get your regular, say, 4x6 film made into 8x10, 8x12, and you could get them there for less than $2. On the count that they had a contract with my company. Okay. You see, so that's how I got the chance to get all those photos. You see, so that was very convenient for me, and then, but another place that I found so many places that I enjoy, and that's why I said it's hard for me to say what's the best place I ever been. I always felt that all of them was nice. You see, but my favorite city, right today, you'd be surprised. Could you guess what my favorite city is?
Thailand.
That's what I mean. No.
No? Because you travel there 2 or 3 times a year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but what is your favorite?
New York, the Big Apple. Okay. I love New York. I used to go there a lot during the 70s, back and forth when they flying those big 747s from L.A. to New York. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's a very unique city, you know. And yes, I enjoy going to Thailand. It's the people there. Then I learned about the history of the people in Southeast Asia. In fact, the Moors were there. If you go around some parts of, especially in Thailand, you see the statues. You can see the features of the Moors and the statues and so forth.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're very nice people, and I very fortunate to know many people that I do know there that are very, very nice. But I guess it's a combination of a lot of things why I did go so much. You know, sometimes I just say we become creatures of habit. Yeah. So.
There's something special about hotels. What's your favorite hotels?
Oh, well, hotels.
I'm sure you must have a membership to...
Well, I started from ground level travel. You see, they will have deals whereas that they will have the hotels, the airfare, transfer, and a tour all together at one price. So I remember when I first went to Brazil, I was dealing with a company out of New York called the Brazilian Vacation Center. And they would mail me brochures about Brazil, and Then after that, they would send me a lot of other things that's relating to Brazil. And so I started getting those package deals.
Mm-hmm.
And they would be mostly standard room, you see.
Okay.
But you had to be very fortunate because most of those package deals was in nice hotels. You see?
Okay.
I remember the first one I received when I went to Rio de Janeiro was the fabulous Rio Palace. I was in there with movie stars and everything, you know. And, so, but that's how that come about. And but as I moved up, I went from a standard room.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next level is a superior room, they call it. See? And then years ago, they used to have advertised at a hotel, say, about so many dollars double. It'll save two people.
Okay.
That's how they used to advertise.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would have down there single occupancy, add a few dollars. That's where I came in at, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of unique. And then later on, then I moved up to the Lux room.
Mm-hmm.
See, this happens over the years now.
Okay.
See, so now I have suites. So in other words, I paid the dues to get up to where I am now, you see.
Mm-hmm.
But
And you doing that single, right?
yeah. I'm doing that. Actually, they cut the. See, what I started doing, you have to get wise, that you don't get the single occupancy. You just go and get double.
Oh, okay.
See, because single occupancy means that if you get a room, single occupancy, and then someone come in there with you, that's another person. You can pay for that person.
Okay.
So I decided to go ahead and get double. So in other words, I could have guests like I want and so forth and so on. And then when you move up to a suite, it's one price for both people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see. And the hotels itself, I've been in many hotels, and oh wow. Well, I try to think that the hotel that I stay in now in Bangkok, called it's the Sheraton.
Mm.
Fantastic, I tell you, oh my goodness, Mr. Brooks in the shower, they have marble benches where you can sit down. You don't worry about slipping and falling. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, you sit down. Let's take in the water, come home, so forth, and oh my goodness. And they just remodeled those suites, and I'm looking forward to it when I do go back next year if everything goes well. In the bathroom now is TVs. See?
In a bathroom?
That's right, TV.
Okay.
Yeah, see, over there, man, it's not like here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. You take a 3 or 4 star hotel anywhere in Southeast Asia, the big, large cities, is equivalent to a deluxe hotel here in the States.
Wow.
See? The price that you would get for your money in Southeast Asia, say for a suite and so forth, you couldn't afford it here. The same type of accommodation, you couldn't afford it.
Mm.
See? And one thing is the reason why, because the exchange rate, that's another thing that you have to learn about too. The exchange rate, that's like when you check out the hotel, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell them, I said, once they would quote me the price in their local language. You say, well, your bill is like, say, 30,000 baht, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I would ask them, I said, well, break that down into American dollars. See, what that means is that you might be getting, say, 30 to 1. You see, say for $100 of American money, you would get 3,000 baht.
Mm.
You see,
Okay.
and plus the price that beyond that would be, once they would break that down into dollars, your bill comes out, maybe, you'd be surprised, your bill comes out sometimes $300 less. Yeah, on account of the exchange rate.
Yeah. Tell us about employment, though. You mentioned you started out at North Chicago Foundry, then Downey, the North Chicago Veterans. So you ended up with Boeing. How did you get?
Well,
what type of work you do there?
well, actually, started out and was during the time when they had the Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
You remember they had the 7 astronauts?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have any idea what I was getting into. The company in California was in the city of Downey, and that's where those capsules was manufactured at. And
Downey, California. You say Downey, California?
Downey, California.
Okay.
And and that's where those capsules was manufactured. I know after each launch into space, all but the capsule would deteriorate in space, and the only thing that would come back to Earth would be the capsule.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Then they would bring it back to the company on a big truck and open to the public so they could see it. It would be jet black and so forth.
Yeah.
And so that's where I started into the industry in L.A. And then after they say they went to the moon, I never did believe they went to the moon, but they say they did.
A lot of people
often said that they landed on Watchtower, talking about they going to the moon. So I don't know. And
well, are you convinced now, since being with Boeing so long?
No, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all. No, no way. But hotels, I've been in some very, very interesting hotels. And then by traveling abroad, I've experienced a lot of distance from people. Most of the time, Mr. Brooks, I tell you, of my 30 years flying overseas, I guarantee you that.
Oh, no. Oh, boy, I thought okay, go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead. So good flying?
And of my 30 years flying overseas, I guarantee you it has not been 10 black people on those planes.
What?
That's right. I can tell you right
travel.
up front. No, we don't like to fly. They asked me, say, how long did it take you to get there? I said, about maybe 18 hours. What?
Yeah, right.
That's a day and a half. Now they'll fly from here to L.A.
Now that 18 hours, is that non-stop or do they stop off?
Well,
because I flew to Birmingham, England, 9 hours, I think.
It's about 9-hour flight for here to England, yeah.
Yeah, but non-stop. Now, what about your 18-hour flight today?
That was non-stop.
Non-stop, 18 hours.
18 hours, but they only did those flights for maybe about a couple of years. Then Thai Airways, they went back to stopping, and now they go to Seoul, Korea from here.
Wow.
In fact, next month, Thai Airways International is going to stop flying from LAX to Bangkok.
Oh.
They're going to, cease service going there. But see, the reason why, everybody in Southeast Asia fly there. Even Delta, United, American, then you got Korean Airlines, Cathay Pacific, China Airlines, Eva Airlines, oh my goodness, Asiatic, Japan Air, all those flights fly in that region, whether it's Bangkok or Hong Kong, the Philippines, Philippines Airlines, either the Philippines or Vietnam. You see?
Wow.
And so there's a lot of competition. And they were charging less than what Thai Airways was charging. So Thai Airways wasn't making any money. Now, they didn't cancel the whole flight service just from L.A. to Bangkok. See, now, next time I go, I'll probably go Korean Airlines.
Okay.
Because they fly the same route that the Thai airline flew. Yeah, so.
Well, you know what? You must have certain areas. You have people that you. I know, like in Thailand, you go 2 or 3 times a year, but why you fly so often? Is the people there that attract you there?
Well, you know, the only way I can put this is when you're a youngster going to school, after school and so forth, you will be dating young girls, take them out, different places and so forth. And then all of a sudden, you come across one that you like more than others.
Okay.
Then, I think I married this one, you see? So that's the only way I can explain about why Thailand was different, because it had everything I needed, you see? And that's why some people today, they have a home here and a home there. See, I called Bangkok my second home. See, I like that as much as I like L.A.
Oh,
see?
okay.
See, I go there and stay a while. The people ask me, say, why don't you retire? I said, no. I said, if I retire there, then it wouldn't be any challenge for me.
Okay.
See, now it's a challenge.
Right.
Because I get bored here for a while, then what I do, I go to plane, go to Bangkok. That's my second home, you see? Yeah. Because when I go there now, I'm not a tourist anymore. I just hang like I hang when I'm in L.A. I know where to go, see?
Okay, okay.
You know, so I go back and forth maybe to the movies, and let's do things that local people do.
I know when I was in Tokyo on rest and recuperation leave, you know, when I was in service in Korea, then, boy, the local people there, they jam as much as the people over here.
Oh, man.
I mean, you think you hear Aretha Franklin and all the other artists, you know, over there, you know.
I remember when I took my first trip to Copenhagen, Denmark.
Okay.
That was way back in 1985. And also during those times, I would take trips to Europe during the winter months. There wasn't much travel during the winter months then, see?
Okay.
Because during the winter months, you get all the discounts. See, the plane was half empty. I mean, it was fun, you see. Then I guess people started getting wise, so they started going the winter months also. But Germany was a very unique place, but Copenhagen, that was a very unique place. In fact, that was the first time I saw tombs of kings and museums where you'd be walking over and so forth right there in Copenhagen. And so it was, and then there's Holland, whereas that probably a lot of people are not aware. That's where you call the tulips territory. The flowers, the tulips, that's where they come from.
Okay.
And they bloom in April. Oh, you should see how pretty they are. And Mr. Brooks, we went to a place that was large as 3 football fields.
Wow.
Where they were auctioning those flowers off to different businesses and so forth. And that was amazing, see. But one of the most beautiful places I've been is New Zealand.
Mm.
As far as you can go, it's what they call down under. Uh-huh. So how I got there was we had a travel office on our job. We had everything, travel office, and then we could go to travel office right there on the job and make our reservation, go to the place we want to go, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I got, what to say, I think it was 4 stops. It was Hawaii, after Hawaii, then I think it was New Zealand, no, Hawaii, then it was Fiji, and then I go over the route with you. We left Los Angeles about 10:30 in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And our first stop was in Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii. We got there before daylight. And each place that we stopped, that's why it's so educational to travel.
Yeah.
See, when you're going through a country and you're going to be there, say less than a day till you're passing through, well, you've probably seen them. They have these duty-free shops,
Mm-hmm.
you see, where you can buy things on the way without paying taxes.
Okay.
See, so we left Hawaii, still dark, about 5:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did, they went it back against the sun.
Okay.
So what they did, they have us to fly 2 nights before daylight.
Mm.
And that was something. Every time you look out the window of the plane, it's dark. It's dark. I was on Air New Zealand, 747. And so finally we got to New Zealand the next morning. And then from there we went to the original stop, which was Sydney, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
See, and but I found out when we stopped in Fiji that they have some of the most beautiful, darkest people you ever want to see.
Mm.
So this is where the golfer, Vijay Singh, is from. See?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the first time I was exposed to ones that were so dark and pretty, beautiful people.
Okay.
Yeah. And they go to show you that people from everywhere has been exposed to Africa, you know what I mean? So you know where they came from. See,
Yeah.
I think they originated New Guinea, I think.
We talk about that all the time, that Africans were dispersed all over the world.
Of course.
All over the world.
And you can start right there in Europe.
Okay.
Right there in Europe. If you want to learn anything about Africa, go to Europe.
Why
Or
is
they
there so
aren't going
much-
to teach you. They're not going to teach you anything. The only thing they're going to
Okay.
teach you here, like I saw on the TV today, that in Africa, the women running around with naked breasts,
Yeah,
the same old, you
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how they look at us as a whole. But
Okay.
there are museums in places like Ethiopia,
Okay.
you see?
Okay.
And all those countries, when they were in existence, spoke 5 or 6 different languages,
Okay.
had kings and queens, you
Okay.
see? But they're not going to tell you that over here, you know?
Because you're a descendant of kings and queens, eh?
Yeah. In
But-
fact, I looked up the Blow family,
Okay.
and we came from the English slaves,
Okay.
because the Blow name was originally English.
Okay. I got you.
And you should have seen some of the things, oh my goodness, scientists and doctors, and
Okay.
yeah, that was our name. Yeah, that was our, what you say, master's name, the
Yeah.
Blow. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Mhm,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
hmm
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Each time we have a show, we get into background of family. Speaking of family, though, you touched upon family, but you enjoy traveling as a single much than a family. You still have family here, you know, that you come each year, I guess, suppose, to see,
Well,
to see family.
not each year, but often.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I know I get a chance to see you often. Your children, you say you have Kenosha and you have what, locally? You have children here, and you mentioned about Indiana or somewhere that you had a daughter. Is she still in Indiana?
Live in Maryville.
Oh, Maryville, Indiana. Okay.
Right
Okay.
outside of Gary.
Okay.
Then I have 2 daughters. Lives in Kenosha. A son lives in Kenosha.
Okay.
And I have granddaughters and great-grandkids that live in Kenosha. See, and they brought them by a couple of days ago, and you'd be amazing how many great-grandkids I have. I think it's about 22 or 23. And they brought about 2 or 3 of them over to the hotel the other day. You should see them. It look like you might be having them on your show as movie star. They so pretty, man. I'm telling you, they something else. Oh man, they something. Yeah.
That's when we say descendants of kings and queens, so they showing that derivative there, you know. Well, what about retiring? You know, oftentimes when you work so long for a certain agency, for example, then the salary you get is most of it goes back to the taxes, back to the government. Where you never can get. You pay more than you get. It's some way that the salary is like this. You work so long, I had a friend of mine who had been working 42 years on one job, but the money that he make is less than what he would if he retired. And have you figured that out, and what you would get in retirement versus working?
Well, I look at it in a different way, because what makes it so difficult for people to be working and say for a long time on those jobs and paying so much taxes, that majority of those people still have bills. See, if you don't have bills, you can adjust to anything.
Okay.
Because my biggest bill is IRS.
Okay.
You see?
Okay.
So in other words, they don't even have to even mail me anything each year. I know exactly how much I owe them.
Okay.
So by the time they mail me the letters and so forth, sometimes I've mailed in too much. They send me a refund. So yeah. So I don't wait for them to say you owe this, you owe that. So I know how much I owe every year. See. So oh yeah, you have a high tax bill. In other words, you take for instance, if a person like is working and still drawing his say Social Security, and some people still working and drawing their Social Security and pension and check.
Yeah.
You see, but they sure they have to pay taxes on it. You see, and then to another thing why you have to pay tax, because you don't have any write-offs, especially if you're single like I am. See, there's nobody but you. So they so you pay for it. You pay for it. Yeah.
Well, normally you fly to. Is that yearly? You go to North Carolina for reunion?
I'm glad you brought that up. That's very interesting. In fact, the school that we went to was called Charles M. Epps High School. He was an educator. He came there way back when, and when the school first started out, it was a vocational school. And then they only went to 11th grade for graduation. And so after a few years of graduation, a couple of people came up with the idea of a class reunion.
Okay.
And then after that, they said, why a class reunion? I said, why not have a whole school reunion? And Mr. Brooks, that's been 36 years ago.
School reunion.
For 36 years, they have not missed a year having a celebration. And it's not as large as it used to be, because a lot of people have passed on.
Oh, yeah.
But when it first started, it was something else. I mean, they still have the parade. The parade started down in the old neighborhood. Then it ends up at the school where it's a park now. See.
Okay.
And behind the school, they built a museum. That's what's so amazing. They built a museum and they built a recreation center. And they also, the board of directors of the alumni and so forth, you'd be surprised of all the scholarships that we have given out to local kids, yeah. So these are some of the things, just like you and Daisy. These are some of the things that people are doing that nobody knows that much about, you see?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And so this year, they recognized me for coming there for 20 straight years from California.
Wow, 20 straight years.
So I gave a speech to tell them about the times I was in school and all that and so forth. Yeah. But we had to walk to school. I mean, I don't care whether it rained or what, we walked to school every single day. I bet you I wore out 2 pair of programs a year walking from our neighborhood to the school. And that was the only school that we had to go to.
Okay, I guess.
See, that was the only school. They had the white schools, but that was the only school that we could go to. And then also back in the museum, they got pictures of the old teachers and the old sporting teams. It's just amazing. Then out front, they have something like the European decoration. Well, everything around that area had helped them, the politicians and so forth and so on. Yeah. Every time that I go down each year, the local newspaper reporter, they come there and so forth. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever tried to rationalize to find out why you have the white and black schools? But that sounds like another program that we're gonna have to have, and we could continually try to rationalize why there's such differences in the in the groups, in the races, the children that go into schools and so forth, you know. But like I say, that's another program, and so we're gonna look for you next time you come, was the next year or the year after, you know, you give us a call. Always drop in. We're always happy to have you on the community forum, whether it be singing or just this first time we had one on being a world traveler there. It's very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with McKinley Joe Blow. We mentioned Joe because he's known by everyone in Lake County. He is Joe Blow, but it's really McKinley Blow. He's employed by the government. He lives in Inglewood, California now, former Lake Countyan, works for the Boeing Aircraft Corporation, and he's been talking about his world travel experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Community Forum. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host.